Hey, amazing fans! Welcome to another relaxing moment with VIVA'S Stories. Before we dive into the drama, don't forget to subscribe, smash that like button, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support means the world to us. Now, grab a seat, sit back, relax, and let's journey into the story together. The smell of engine oil and roasted corn filled the evening air at Ojulegba Bus Park. Amid the chaos of conductors screaming, "Ashidi! Yaba! Enter with your change, oh!" stood Chaik, barely 13, his shirt drenched in sweat. "Conductor, where my change?" a passenger barked. "Madam, a beg hold on small, na 50 Nigerian nairas I day find," Chaik pleaded, fumbling through coins. The woman hissed loudly and others laughed at him. Behind the laughter was shame. Just a year ago, Chaik was in school, dreaming of being a lawyer. But after his father's sudden death in a suspicious bus accident, poverty struck. His widowed mother couldn't afford rent, let alone school fees. Chaik became the family's breadwinner. At night, after shouting himself hoarse, he would sit quietly beside his mother in their one-room apartment. "Mama, one day they will not laugh at me again," he whispered. His mother stroked his hair gently. "My son, life is not about where you start. It is where you end. Just keep your heart clean." But the world outside was not clean. Drivers slapped him when he made mistakes. Policemen extorted him. Passengers insulted him. Area boys bullied him. And deep down, he hated himself for being just a conductor. One evening, after a brutal fight at the park where he was beaten and left with a swollen lip, he limped home, dragging his torn slippers. In the shadows, a stranger watched him. "Young man," the stranger called out. "Why do you walk with your head down?" Chaik frowned. "Because I am nothing." The stranger chuckled. "Nothing? I see something. You don't belong here. But the choice is yours, die a conductor or rise above it." Those words burned in Chaik's chest all night. As the buses roared and Lagos never slept, a dream was planted in the heart of a boy everyone had mocked. By dawn, Chaik was back at the bus park, calling passengers into the rickety yellow bus. His stomach rumbled. He hadn't eaten since yesterday afternoon. His mother was bedridden, feverish, and the last 200 Nigerian nairas had gone into buying her medicine. As the bus rattled along, passengers argued about politics. One man in a fine suit shouted, "Leaders in this country are all thieves." Another scoffed, "Better thieves than fools." Chaik listened silently, absorbing every word. Something about politics stirred fire inside him. Later that evening, he gathered courage and asked the man in the suit, "Oga, how can someone like me, someone who no get money, become a leader?" The man burst into mocking laughter. "A conductor? Forget it. Conductors don't become governors. Stick to shouting bus stops." The other passengers laughed, but Chaik didn't. He felt his throat tighten, but instead of crying, he nodded slowly. That night, under a dim kerosene lamp, he pulled out a battered notebook and wrote the man's words. "Conductors don't become governors." Then he underlined it and whispered, "We shall see." Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Hunger gnawed at him, but it sharpened his will. He stopped buying sweets, stopped eating lunch, and saved every coin he could. When his friends mocked him, he said quietly, "Hunger is my teacher. One day, you will understand." One afternoon, while hiding under a kiosk to escape rain, Chaik stumbled upon an old bookshop. The shop smelled of dusty pages, and behind the counter sat Mr. Okafor, a retired teacher with thick glasses. "Boy, what are you doing here?" the old man asked. "Sir, just looking," Chaik said, embarrassed. Mr. Okafor eyed him closely. "Looking at? You can't even afford bread, yet you're looking at books?" Chaik's face flushed. "Sir, I just want to learn." Something in his voice touched the old man. "If you want to learn, come every evening. But I warn you, knowledge is not for the lazy." From that day, after long sweaty shifts at the bus park, Chaik would sneak into the shop. He read about Mandela, Kwame Nkrumah, and Martin Luther King. Sometimes he dozed off on the books. One evening, Mr. Okafor caught him skipping chapters. "You think leadership is by shortcuts?" He grabbed a cane and struck Chike's palm. If you want to lead men, learn patience with knowledge. Tears stung Chike's eyes, but he nodded. Yes, sir. As weeks passed, Mr. Okafor grew fond of him. One night, he looked at Chike deeply and said, "One day, the same crowd that mocks you will beg you to lead them. But mark my words, the path will be dangerous." Chike shivered, but deep down, he knew the man spoke truth. It was a Friday morning, and tension was already thick at Ojulegba. The transport bosses had increased daily levies again, and conductors were angry. "This is wickedness," one shouted. "Dem one kill us finish," another added. Suddenly, chaos erupted. Thugs armed with bottles and knives stormed the park, scattering drivers and conductors. Chike found himself cornered. A thug swung a broken bottle at him. He barely dodged, the sharp glass slicing his arm. Blood trickled down. Panic surged. He ran through the crowd, ducking blows, but 3 thugs chased him. One caught him and slammed him against a bus. "Small rat. You day form hero?" As the thug raised his bottle again, a police siren wailed. The attackers scattered, leaving Chike bruised and trembling. That night, with his arm bandaged, he told his mother, "I nearly died today." She wept. "My son, please, this life is cruel. Just survive." But Chike clenched his fists. "No, Mama. If we only try to survive, they will keep killing us. Somebody must fight." The next day, he began rallying fellow conductors, demanding fair treatment. Passengers watched in shock as the same boy who once bowed in silence now spoke boldly. But not everyone was pleased. A police officer pulled him aside one evening. "Boy, hear me well. If you don't keep quiet, you'll disappear like your father." Chike froze. "My father? What do you mean?" That night, Chike couldn't sleep. His father's death haunted him. His mother had always said it was an accident, but the officer's words burned in his mind. The next evening, he searched through an old wooden box under his mother's bed. Inside were faded papers, union documents, letters, and newspaper clippings. His eyes widened. His father wasn't just a driver, he was a union leader who had fought corrupt transport officials. One article headline screamed, "Union leader dies in mysterious accident." Chike confronted his mother. "Mama, tell me the truth. Was Papa killed?" Her eyes filled with tears. "My son, your father was a brave man. He stood against wicked men. They silenced him. I kept it from you because I feared you'd follow his path." Chike's voice shook. "Then it is in my blood to fight. They killed him because he refused to be silent. Mama, I cannot be silent either." She gripped his hand tightly. "Promise me, Chike, be wise. I cannot lose you too." But the fire in his chest was unstoppable. That week, he began sneaking into secret political meetings where young activists gathered. At first, he sat at the back, listening. Then one night, when a heated debate broke out, he stood up. "Brothers, sisters, you argue like the politicians you condemn. But if we don't unite, we will keep dying poor. I was a conductor yesterday. Today I am here. Tomorrow I will not just speak, I will lead." The room fell silent. Then applause erupted. The boy they once mocked was transforming into a leader. The whispers began at the bus parks first. "Have you heard of that conductor boy? The one that speaks like a leader." Soon, videos of Chike's fiery speeches at youth meetings started circulating on social media. His voice rang with raw conviction. "We, the poor, carry this city on our backs. We drive the buses, sell in the markets, clean the streets. Yet we are treated like trash. It must end." Crowds began to gather whenever he spoke. Traders left their stalls, conductors abandoned buses, students skipped lectures, just to hear the people's conductor. One evening, after he finished a rallying cry at Yaba, a woman approached him. "Young man, you remind me of Gani Fahinmi. But be careful, Nigeria eats her heroes." Chike smiled faintly. "Then I will let Nigeria choke." But the powers he challenged noticed him. One night, 2 sleek cars pulled up outside his house. Inside were men in fine agbada. They handed him a brown envelope. "This is just a taste," one said smoothly. "Join us. We'll make you rich." Why suffer with these market women when you can dine with kings? Chaik pushed the envelope back. I was born in the dust, sir. I will not betray the dust. Their smiles vanished. The man leaned close. Be wise, conductor. Bus parks are full of accidents. Don't become one. That night, as he walked home, shadows followed him. Then, gunshots. He dived into a gutter, bullets whizzing overhead. His heart pounded, but he crawled away into the darkness. The following week, a massive protest erupted. Thousands of youths filled the streets, chanting, "No more extortion. No more oppression." Chaik stood at the front, megaphone in hand. We are not animals. We are Nigerians, and we deserve dignity. The crowd roared. But suddenly, police trucks rolled in. Without warning, tear gas filled the air. Gunshots followed. Panic. Screams. Blood on the asphalt. Chaik tried to shield a young girl as chaos erupted. But before he could escape, soldiers grabbed him, dragged him into a van, and disappeared into the night. In prison, Chaik was thrown into a filthy cell with hardened criminals. Yet, instead of breaking him, it became his classroom. He debated with thieves, challenged murderers, and inspired even the hopeless. Why waste your fire, conductor? One inmate sneered. Chaik replied firmly, because if I don't fight, even your children will be prisoners too. Word spread among inmates, this boy is different. Guards overheard his speeches. Soon, the prison buzzed with his name. Outside, public pressure mounted. Hashtags trended. Hashtag free the people as conductor. International groups condemned his arrest. After 3 long months, he was released. When he emerged, gaunt but unbroken, the crowd waiting outside lifted him on their shoulders. Tears streamed down his face. I went in as a prisoner, he declared, but I came out as a soldier for the people. Weeks later, Chaik was invited to the home of Chief Adediran, an elder statesman known for mentoring young leaders. My son, the old man said, you can shout on the streets forever, but real change comes from the seat of power. Contest. Chaik blinked. Contest? I have no money, no party. Chief Adediran smiled. But you have something rarer, people. And so, Chaik took the boldest step of his life. He declared his candidacy for governor. At first, everyone laughed. TV hosts mocked him. A conductor wants to govern? A beg make we hear word. Rival politicians sneered. He can't even govern a bus park, let alone a state. But Chaik's campaign was unlike any other. He didn't have billboards or TV ads. Instead, he went from market to market, bus park to bus park, sitting with ordinary people. He ate roasted corn with traders, fetched water with villagers, and shared bread with students. His slogan was simple. From the streets, for the people. Crowds swelled. Youths chanted, mothers prayed, and conductors raised fists, shouting, Our brother! Our hope! But in the shadows, his enemies plotted. Reports leaked. Ballot boxes were being prepared for rigging. Thugs were training to disrupt polls. Chaik's campaign manager whispered, If they rig, we are finished. Chaik stared into the night sky. Then we must make our voices louder than their fraud. The sun rose over Lagos on election day, but tension was thicker than harmattan dust. At polling stations, long queues formed. Chaik moved among them, shaking hands, urging calm. Suddenly, violence. Thugs stormed polling units, snatching ballot boxes, beating voters. Gunshots cracked the air. One thug lunged at Chaik with a cutlass. He narrowly dodged, his shirt tearing open. Supporters shielded him as videos went viral online. They're trying to kill the people's conductor. But something extraordinary happened. Instead of running, ordinary people fought back. Market women blocked roads with stones. Youths formed human shields around ballot boxes. Even old men stood their ground. Today, our votes must count, they cried. By nightfall, social media was ablaze. Videos of rigging exposed corrupt officials. Pressure mounted on the electoral body. Days later, results were announced. Winner of the gubernatorial election, Chaik Okafor. The city exploded with joy. Fireworks lit the sky. Crowds chanted his name. Chaik, tears streaming, whispered, We did it. The inauguration day was surreal. Chaik stood in a tailored suit, hand on the Bible as cameras flashed. His frail mother, wrapped in a simple headscarf, sat in the front row, smiling through tears. I, Chaik Okafor, do solemnly swear to serve the people with honesty, courage, and justice. Crowds thundered with applause. The same boy who once shouted, Ashadi, Yaba, was now governor. His first executive action stunned everyone. He signed into law a transport reform bill, ensuring fair wages for drivers and conductors. No longer will our brothers in the parks be treated like animals, he declared. Next, he invested in schools, hospitals, and youth empowerment programs. Slowly lives changed. Markets flourished. Roads improved. Young people found hope again. But in quiet moments, late at night, Chaik would sit with his old battered notebook. On the first page were the words a passenger once mocked him with. Conductors don't become governors. He smiled, closed the book, and whispered, Watch me. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell for newly created content.